Al Davis died in 2011, I believe is what our research said. Tom Brady was obviously already Tom Brady at that point. Do you know if Tom Brady and Al Davis ever met each other? Tom Brady, now newest owner of the Las Vegas Raiders alongside Mark Davis, and I assume many others have
Oh, sure.
a percentage.
Oh,
How,
sure.
how do Al
I'm sure
Davis
that.
and Tom get along, and did you know if they met?
Well, I think it was probably just in passing on the field before we played them. I know we opened up, it's from the Tuck game. That was Brady's signature start of his career, and now he enters the building here in Las Vegas. I mean, I think they probably had a passing relationship, but Al had great respect for him, obviously, because he was so good and was able to make plays and win championships, which was Al was all about. I think this is a fabulous move for the Raiders. I hope that Mark Davis is willing to his circle of competence which is a key thing whenever you're a decision maker in any industry, in any sport, is who are you listening to? And I think in the past, Mark has listened to a lot of different people, some of them ex-players, some of them ex-executives, whatever it is. But by hiring Tom, I think he can condense his circle of competence and listen to one person, a guy that's won 7 Super Bowls, that's seen it done the right way, that understands what it takes to be a champion, that understands that the players have to go to a certain level to reach the level that the organization wants them to go. And I think ultimately he can deliver on that. And I'm sure he'll be intimately involved in the next quarterback that they select, because based on this season, they're going to have a pick high enough to get a quarterback.
Okay, so you said a lot of things there. Obviously, all great stuff that I would not know between Tom and potentially Al Davis's relationship. Obviously, you working alongside Al Davis and having a long history with the Raiders, even though Raiders fans don't necessarily love that on the internet as of late. Mm-hmm. But what you said there was, I think, pretty important. You said that Mark Davis is going to rely on Tom Brady to provide information and decision making. He's going to be that hands-on. How many minority owners in the NFL are like day-to-day hands-on making decisions? And is that why, if he is going to be hands-on making decisions, is that why all the rules by the other owners that we just put up about him broadcasting games are in place? Like, hey, if he's going to be making actual decisions and having input and saying a lot of stuff, we don't want him walking around our practice. We don't want him talking to our GMs. We don't want him talking to our players. Is that why those rules are in place? Or how do you think it kind of got to this point?
Well, most of the owners have minority interest, and the Raiders have other minority partners, but most of them live out of town. They're basically from the tech industry or from the financial world, where their hedge funds they don't know anything about football, so they can come to a practice and not learn anything. Whereas you put Brady on a practice field, he's going to be able to know a lot. And so it becomes a little bit of a different. His expertise is really vital, and the Raiders would need to utilize this expertise. If you're Tom Telesco and Tom Brady just walks in the building, you're going to have to go over to Tom and say, hey, we need your help on evaluating players, what you see in receivers, what you see in quarterbacks, all those things. And I think these rules are set up because of his knowledge, not because he's just a minority owner. If he was just a minority owner and didn't have anything in football, it's easy. But he's not that. He understands the game completely from off the field to on the field, which is critical. And I think that's going to help the Raiders. What I was trying to get to more than anything is what happens to most organizations it isn't that the decision maker, Mark Davis in this case, doesn't get information. He listens to the wrong information. He has a lot of people coming at him from different directions and influence. Al Davis wasn't that way. Al Davis listened to a lot of people, but he narrowed his circle of competence down to very few. He might ask your opinion, but he's not necessarily going to follow it. So Amen. I think what Mark Davis has to do is really restrict all these people that he talks to, ex-players and some of the players on the team, and focus on how can he build a championship organization, because that's what he hasn't been able to do as his ownership. And his father struggled to do that late in his life as well.
If Tom Brady is able to apply and be an actual force as an owner for the Raiders, and obviously we've seen this plenty of times in the NFL, it is actually kind of the NFL's pipeline to becoming a full owner. It's like you got to see what you do at another place. Like Tepper was with the Steelers. Like normally they're at another spot and then they become majority owner elsewhere. Tom Brady is player owner in 2024 with the valuations of these teams, I think is wonderful and beautiful. Does he ever get a full team? That would be...
Well, that takes great wealth. I mean, that takes incredible wealth. I don't... The way these valuations are going, especially today came out that there could be $1 billion investment with international rights. I mean, these franchises are going way up. It's hard for one person. That's why we saw them pass the rule about having groups come in and purchase parts of these teams because it's hard. Not a lot of individuals are like Steve Ballmer that can write a check for $6 million or $8 million and just have it go. That's a small group of people. So the valuations are too hard for one person. But I could see Tom, and I think knowing Tom like I do, I could see Tom wanting to be involved with the football, wanting to be involved with the decisions, wanting to be kind of intimately in building a team. I think that's always been something he's loved and gravitated to because he's had great experience in seeing it happen over his career in New England and then, of course, in Tampa.
Tom Brady's about to be the king of Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah, they might be good now.
Holy shit. Didn't even think about that.